Calling all military and police forces. Attention! Search for middle-aged man, about 5 feet 7, weight 190 pounds, ragged clothing, carrying identification papers of Frederick Melcher of Nuremberg. This man is Der Teufel and is urgently wanted. I repeat, search for middle-aged man, about 5 feet 7, weight 190 pounds, ragged clothing, carrying identification papers.
Attention! Calling on military and occupation police. It is believed that the man known as Der Teufel is now disguised in ragged clothing and carries papers identifying him as Friedrich Melcher of Nuremberg. He is about 5 feet 7, weight 190 pounds, and has in his possession a piece of green glowing radioactive metal.
As urgent radio calls crackle over the German airways to speed new search for Der Teufel, the elusive Nazi scientist has made his way through an underground tunnel from a small inn into a deep rock cave in the Black Forest. The main entrance to the cave was cleverly concealed by fallen trees and heavy underbrush. Within its large, musty field illuminated by 2 coal lamps and fitted with rough bunks on which lounge a dozen assorted Nazis. Men, young and old, all former leaders in the Nazi regime of savage persecution and conquest, now hiding from and plotting against their conquerors. Some are men of science, 2 are former generals, 3 are former members of the ruthless Gestapo. In the half-gloom, their eyes gleam like fierce hunted animals, as they regard the strangely humming green-glowing kryptonite, which Der Teufel has set in an open box before Professor Ernest Milch, the stooped, shaggy-haired chemist renowned for his research and aerostat substances for the fuel and food. There it is, Milch. In almost instrumental difficulties I had obtaining it and bringing it here.
This is the kryptonite, Teufel?
Ja, it is part of the fragment from the shattered planet Krypton, where Superman was born. In the presence of this material, Superman becomes helpless as a babe.
Superman? Helpless? What nonsense is this, Teufel?
It is the truth, General Broomberg. I myself have seen Superman lose consciousness when approached by this metal.
I do not believe it.
You may be given an opportunity to see it for yourself. There is no element like this in all the world, Milch. Consider, in this experiment for the harnessing of atomic energy, Superman was used to test the power of splitting atoms in the cyclotron. He withstood that tremendous energy.
That I have heard.
But the kryptonite he cannot withstand. The gamma rays it emits, as indicated by the cold, green light and hum, are too strong for even him.
Perhaps not. You say Superman was born on Krypton? It may be that in the atmosphere of Earth, some simple chemical change takes place in his body which makes him subject to weak spells when exposed to the kryptonite.
It is far more than that, far more. I have tested this substance with the electroscope. It is 100 times more complex and radioactive than thorium or radium or even uranium.
You tested it with the electroscope, you say?
Ja, and I used shields before it. The gamma waves penetrated the shields with such intensity as to be unbelievable, and I ionized the air and gases as uranium could never do. And it has no impurities. Think of what that means, Milch. A tiny quantity will serve our purpose, whereas our enemies must use an enormous amount of uranium for one atom bomb.
Why does this madman speak of bombs? Tell him, Milch, how our great factories are destroyed. Tell him how we, the last few loyal followers of the Führer, live here in a cave underground, hunted like rats and forced to subsist on the few lean rabbits and birds we can snare in the forest.
Ja, that is true, Teufel. Even if you have here the material for an atomic bomb, we are helpless without the factories.
Do you think I am a fool? Have I not in the eyes of my head? However, with the kryptonite, we need neither factories nor bombs.
What?
What do you mean, Teufel?
I will explain, but first I will have to close the box. It is just possible that the rays may start a fire and will be discovered. I barely escaped a police patrol at Gottfried's Inn.
We heard the sirens, but come, tell us what you mean.
I mean this, Milch. If you can dissolve the kryptonite, I will create an Atom Man.
A what?
An Atom Man, a creature in whose veins will flow with the pure kryptonite, who will, by use of his convert, to be able to shoot kryptonite atoms from his fingertips in an unbroken chain that will create such destruction the world has never dreamed of.
You're mad.
I was never so sane in my life, General Bloomberg. If Professor Milch can dissolve the kryptonite, we'll be able to control Superman and then force the rest of the world to its knees.
You speak of an Atom Man, Tufel. I presume you mean an artificial man, a robot?
9 Milch, I mean a real human being.
What?
Ja, a human being. One of us here in this cave will be the world's first Atom Man.
What? How can that be?
You're mad, Tufel. Mad.
Out of such madness, General, will come victory.
Ugh. In this place where you have been, this metropolis, something has happened to your reason, dear Tufel.
I do not enjoy your ridicule, General Bloomberg.
Who are you, dear Tufel, to raise your voice to me?
Who am I? You ask, who am I when it is I who risk my life and use my brain to think of a glorious manner in which all our plans and hopes may come into reality?
It is foolish talk.
You are a blockhead, General.
Take care, dear Tufel.
Ja, you speak to one of the leading generals of a great army there, Tufel.
General of a great army? This is your army? Not as many men as through an army have divisions.
Dear Tufel, what is wrong with you?
Nothing. I am only filled with justifiable disgust for one who trades on old glories and one who ridicules me. Der Tufel, who seek new glories.
If I had my old powers, dear Tufel, I would bring you before a military court for this, in order that they find you guilty and have you shot.
Mainhairs, let us talk sensibly.
I have sense to talk, Professor. I have discovered to do what General Bloomberg and his armies attempted and failed. I have discovered how the fatherland will rule the world and how we will be the masters.
With this Atom Man?
Ja, with this Atom Man, General.
But how can this be, Tufel? With the kryptonite in his veins, a man could not live.
In my solution, he would live, Milch.
But if the atoms were split, he'd blow up. You fool!
Whom do you call a fool, General? Almost, Milch and I succeeded in solving the secret of atomic energy.
That is true.
But we waste time, and we have little time left. Everywhere the Allied forces search for me, we must create an Atom Man before they find me. Well, Milch, speak. We have everything to gain and nothing to lose. How long before you can dissolve the kryptonite?
I do not know. I have a small laboratory set up in another room of the cage, but it is not very complete.
You performed great things formerly when you did not have everything you needed. Will you try now, for your own life and the life of the fatherland?
I tell you, he is mad, Milch.
9, General Der Tufel is not mad. He is a genius, and if he says he can create an Atom Man, then I will believe him. And somehow, whatever the cost, I will dissolve the kryptonite.
Well spoken, Milch. A toast to our success, gentlemen. It's moonlight face gleaming. Der Tufel leads the toast to the success of the dread Atom Man. Who this small, desperate band of fanatical Nazis succeed in their grotesque plot over Superman. Menace as he never was before. Stop Tufel before it's too late. Don't miss the next exciting episode of Superman.